Hi, I wanted to cover some of the things we want over in the lab last night and also set the stage for what we'll cover next week. In order to follow along with what I'm going to show here, you're going to need to have the following modules installed and enabled. You'll need to have Drupal obviously working, but you'll need Advanced Help, CCK, Date API, the Node import, and the Views module. Those have to be downloaded, installed, and enabled for this to work. Assuming you've done that, your setup should look something like what I have over here. This is an empty installation. The only thing I've done is I've given the site a name, and I have enabled the modules in the list I just had. So now I want to begin by creating a custom content type. I'm going to go to Administer, and then under Content Management, there will be a listing for content types. I'm going to go there and note that I only have page and story to begin with, but now I'm going to add a content type. I'm going to add a content type to hold the listing of local publishers. So I'm going to call this publishers. The type, which will be an internal name, will be a pub listing. I'm going to skip over description, though you could put that in. And I want to come down to the workflow settings. And for that, I want to make sure that as these are created, they're not automatically published and not automatically promoted to the front page. I just want these to go to the database, and we'll get access to them by using the Views module. When I have that set, I can save the content type. And now I have a listing which shows me page, story, and publishers. So I want to begin by managing fields for that content type. Right now I don't have any custom fields, so this is just a container, but it's not doing me any good. So I'm going to begin by selecting new field, and I'm going to create a new field for the publisher address. I'll call it a type of pub street. It's going to be of type text, and the widget that I'll use for that is going to be of type text field. I can save at this point, and now it's going to ask me about the widget. How wide should the input field be? I'm happy with 60 characters. I'll take most of these settings and just save the fields. And now you see I have something new on the list, street address. I'm going to put it up to the top of this. And I'm going to continue now to create similar fields for city, for state, and for zip code. I won't show those here, but the steps are rather straightforward. So I'm assuming that you can do that. I'm going to take a break and come back after I've completed those steps. Okay, I've completed creating those fields, and I've put them in the order I want them to appear on the display form. Publisher's name at the top, going to street address, city, state, and zip code. So at this point, I'm going to save out the content type that I've created and see that it's working. So first I save it out. It looks okay. I'm now going to go to create content and see if I have an option for publishers. I do. And here's my input form. Looks reasonable. Those are the things I asked for. Name, street address, city, state, and zip code. I'm confident that this is okay, but I know that I have 500 publishers, and I don't want to be typing in 500 forms and saving them out individually. Because I already have them in a spreadsheet format, I'm going to make use of the Node import module to get them loaded up in one operation. So I'm going to get set up to do that. Okay, now in order to do a bulk import, I'm going to go to the Administer menu, and from that I'm going to select Content Management, and there is an option for Import Content. From there, I'm going to be taken to a wizard that will go through a number of screens asking me questions about how I want to configure the import. I'm going to begin by creating a new import, and it gives me some instructions here. You can read it, but I'm just going to hit the next button at this point and say, what is my target content type? Well, I want to do an import into the publisher's content that we just created. So I click on that and hit next again. And here I'm asked to identify the file that has the data in it. I'm going to choose a file, and this is the CSV file that I distributed slightly modified. So indicate that that's the one I want to use. After choosing it, I have to hit the upload button, and you can see you get a confirmation with the display of the name. At this point, you can hit the next button, and it wants to know how the file is formatted. Because what we distributed is a CSV, this is the appropriate selection, and if you scroll down, you'll see that it begins to give you some feedback on the file that you've pointed at. And this looks reasonable. The first line are the content headings, or the name headings that were in the file, and down below you see the data that was in the file. But so far that looks very reasonable. So I hit next, and it still needs to know where those fields in my input file go to in the newly created content type. So here I can choose that correspondence. Publisher name, I want to come from publisher's name. Street address from street address, city from city, state for state, figure that out. For zip code, now probably because I have a space in it, we have to map it. But other than that, those are the fields that I want, and I don't think I need to do anything else on the screen. So I'll hit next, and no other options to set, which is no news is good news. Hit next again, and it's asking for some options. I don't want to fill this in, so I can leave it all blank. The only things I want to do, make sure that published is set to no, sticky at top of list is set to no, and promoted to front page is set to no. Other than that, I'm good to hit the next button, and that should start download. It gives me a few records for feedback. I think those look pretty good, so I will say go for it. Everything else here looks to be okay. And here you get some feedback about how many rows it's imported. You'll also get information about errors if there are any errors. Okay, I got 501 rows with 2 errors. I'm not going to worry about that at this stage of the game, but I do want to see what came through. So I'm going to go back to Content Management and look at the option called Content. And now I see all the records that have been brought in. So it looks like I have stuff to work with. If I click on one of these to get a better idea of it, that seems to be just what I want. Here's the name, which is the publisher's name. Here are the detailed data that I brought in, and if I need to make a change here, I can go in to edit and modify any of those fields. But right now I'm feeling pretty good about that, so I'm just going to declare victory on the bulk import and the creation of a new content type.